The brakes are coming off. I really outdid myself because look at what's going on. These things are nuts. StopTech Trophys 6-piston big brake kit. Oh, look at the bridge. Unreal. It's got a nickel plated finish, basically for just durability, long lasting. But man, look at this thing. So I'm not going to bore you with the details. It's pretty straightforward. I'm going to slap these on here and show you the finished product. There you have it. Quite the difference. One's some grade of aluminum and the other's, what is that, cast iron? I don't know, it's heavy. It is a freaking knuckle, man. This thing is like noticeably lighter, but you know, I said I wasn't going to bore y'all with the details, but I am going to bore you with this stuff. I love weight comparisons. Let's see how much this is. 15.6. Just to be fair, I should include the bracket. So this weighs so little it doesn't want to trigger my scale. Okay, there we go. So 8.8, it's another pound or so. 26.4. Nope, 26.2, close enough. And then 15.8, wow, so 10 pounds. 10 pounds lighter. So we're roughly, what, 17 pounds lighter than the stock setup? Oh, and these are 355 by 32s. So the one thing I will show you is how awesome this design is. Really for one big reason for me is pad changes. So the pads, once you have this bridge out, the pads slide in and then you put the bridge back. Bolt the bridge down, you just got 4 really long bolts and that's it. So pad swaps are super easy. Let's check the rotor weight difference. 16 pounds. This one, so this is considerably thicker, if anything. Look at the thickness difference. What is it, 32, I think? The size is a little bit. You're talking maybe half an inch, 3/4 of an inch. Bigger, but definitely thicker. Way more thermal capacity. Oh, 16 again? Yeah, they're the same. Let's make sure. It's freaking out. Alright, let's try this. Yeah, 32. Okay, just double checking. About the same. Which obviously is impressive because look at the size difference, yeah? Not even registering. Okay, 6 pounds. Stock caliper is 8.2, is that right? Yeah, 8.2 pounds. The brakes are on. Holy crap. My daughter said, those are shiny. She's right. Oh, it's total bling. And yes, I do plan to take this on track, so I will do these Trophys justice. Don't worry about this wheel stud I have in here. More on that later. So we got the 6 pots in the front, single pot in the rear. I went with these
because I want to fit the OEM Style 65 wheels on here. And if you go with the two-pot in the rear, the ST40s, you have to run a large spacer. I don't want to do that, because even running a small spacer, I was already hitting the lip of the fender. So you're gonna have to roll the fender, plus just have the look of it, you know, sticking out too far. I didn't want to go that far. Anyway, these are the little ST22s. So the pads are smaller than the original ones, just a little bit smaller. But it was kind of okay, interesting. There's definitely way more mass, you know, to this. Weight-wise, I think the calipers are about the same. The rotors are interestingly the same, even though this is a much larger rotor. Specifically, it's a lot thicker. The OEM rotor is pretty thin. So you had to cut the entire heat shield off. That was actually not too bad. Used some Milwaukee tools. This cutoff tool made it very easy. It's a little, this is how wide this kind of hammerhead shape is. It kind of made it hard to get in there, but if you kind of contort your body in the proper way, you can make it happen. And then cleaned it up with this guy. Bought these pads off Amazon. The blue one, I had to look it up, is the most abrasive one. Definitely a goggle, obviously earphone job, because this stuff just like shoots everywhere as you're using it. What else? I got the new brake lines on there. So they use a special type of fitting. You can see it there. It actually, I like that 90-degree turn, because it actually really makes the path a lot cleaner. On the ECS ones I had before, they were a little bit kinked. It had kind of, not kinked, it just really stressed that line. Same deal on the other side. And then the front. Same deal. So one thing, now that I'm here, I need to tie up this. This is the brake pad wear sensor. I'm just going to zip tie it back up in here somewhere out of the way. Alright, we are going to bleed the ABS module. You want to do this if you've messed with anything pre-ABS module, so master cylinder or the DSC pump. If you mess with any of that, you need to come in here and activate the ABS pump. So what it actually does is it actually basically vibrates, turns the solenoids on and off, therefore vibrating to try to get rid of any air bubbles in the system. And then you're also gonna, at the same time, pump the pedal a little bit, and all the while you're actually pushing fluid through it, right, through the whole system with the pressure bleeder. So we've got this right here. It's at about 15 psi, so we got pressure on the system. And I've already done the back too, so I've got this one set up now, so we're ready to go to crack that sucker once we get the ABS pump going. So let's go turn the ABS pump on. On meaning set it to the bleed procedure, so you'll see here in a second. So from this page, you come up here under procedure and click start bleeding. Okay, and then you go to the bottom right and hit next, and that's going to kick off the ABS pump. Alright, so it's going, and what we want to do is break this free. Okay, so that's flowing right now. See a bunch of micro bubbles. Now what we want to do after it's done, it just turned off, is come over here and press the brake pedal 5 times, as much as you can. Oh, it's already stiff, which is a good sign. Alright, 5 times, and then go close the bleeder screw. So I just pushed a ton of fluid through there. So we'll close this sucker.
So we got nice clear fluid going through there. You can kind of see the older stuff. Kind of looks amberish. That's it. So you do that procedure basically 4 times each corner. Now, like I said before, I've already pre-bled the system, so excuse me, falling over. You want to start on the outside. There's 2 bleeder screws on this. You want to start on the outside and then go to the inside. So I went ahead and pre-bled the whole system just to get most of the air out of there. There's quite a bit. So I don't know if that's a prerequisite or not, but that's kind of where my mind went, is let me get most of the air out and then I'll activate the ABS pump to get the final last bit. So I've just got the driver's side to go, and I think we're good. The brake pedal already feels pretty firm while I'm pumping the fluid through for this procedure. So excited to get this thing on the road. So I just went around the car one more time. Started from the right rear, then did the left rear, and then came to here, and then finally finished by the reservoir pump on the driver front. Just fully bled the system again. It's a little bit more annoying with these double bleeders. I don't know why they do this. I need to look that up again. But you've got to bleed the out one first and then the in one. So you've got to do 2 different bleeds per caliper. But I actually had a little bit of air come out, I think mostly of this one. So hopefully we got most of the air out. Otherwise, we're ready to go. Still holding strong. So now, honestly, there's a ton of little things just to button up. But obviously I need to get some headlights and a front bumper on this thing to give it its face back. But we're ready to go. I was actually pretty surprised in how well the new computer worked, and the cable and everything. It's always a bit of a juggle. There's so many videos on how to set that up right. I definitely left that out, but you know, if there's a request of like a more detailed walkthrough, I'm happy to do that video. So yeah, I'm about to go relax, settle in, see y'all. Yeah, the front, and I'm gonna do the headlights first. Gotta double check everything on the intake. I kind of did this half awake, so double check all these clamps, make sure all these wires and everything looks pretty good. And then let's see, headlights will go in, and then the bumper will go in, and then we'll do the under trays and the pork chops. The lights and the bumper are on. We're on to the finishing touches. Forgot to bleed the clutch reservoir, so it's built into the main brake master reservoir. So what I have done, it's very simple actually. This one's a gravity bleed, so there's no pressure needed. So come with me under here and you'll see the clutch slave cylinder. Maybe you'll see it. It's right next to the transmission. Right there. So there's a 7mm bleed valve on there. So I've got this guy set up. You can see that fluid is pretty gross. The fluid coming out you can't really see, but it's nice and clear. So I think we're good. I need to snatch this up because I see it like pulling in air. So let's wrap this up. Now that is a dirty color. That's all from the clutch. That was really just what was in the lines. The reservoir was clean, new fluid. Always a good idea. It's super easy to do that. So what's cool about these Schwaben little catch cans is that they have this tube, and you can lower it into the bottom of the tube. So when you start to release the fluid out, if you have it in the bottom, once this fills up, it's not gonna suck back any air into the system. So that's kind of a cool little feature. This is adjustable.